This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man.
Boy! Hey, let's talk about you, the ID10T community events at ID10T.com, like Russ Stevens, a.k.a.
Catbus Russ,
who has started a podcast called 90 for Chill, which Russ says is dedicated to movies with a runtime between 74 and 99 minutes, the time frame that I feel is ideal. Russ, I could not agree with you more. That is a fantastic idea. Russ goes on to say there are times you need a cinematic fix but don't have time for the latest Scorsese masterpiece or offering from a comic book universe. There's also times when you need a conclusion to prevent a binge costing you a whole night. My guest and I try to follow these guidelines as we chat up features that are definitely worth your time and are beyond easy to make time for. 90 for Chill, the podcast, can be found on all major podcast platforms at 90forchill.com, and that's spelling out 90, Ninety, 4 FOR, chill. So there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Russ. Really great idea for a podcast. Events at ID10T.com for everyone else.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
Welcome to this bonus episode of I Dig Crazy Flicks with Catbus Russ. This is your host, Catbus Russ, and I suppose this is a 90 for Chill episode of the podcast, where I investigate the remaining movies that I covered from Markel Lester back in 2021 and 2022. I was hoping that a Markel Lester Christmas would be a two-part affair like it was previously last year with my Commando and Little Showdown in Little Tokyo episodes, but I digress. I didn't really have a guest for the remaining three features, so not as much pomp and circumstance, so it's going to be a brief episode, all things considered, so I hope you enjoy it. In a sense, we're dropping it on a Friday, you're catching up on podcasts, or at least I am, so I think 40 minutes sounds pretty nice. So let me get through the formalities, or let me back up and discuss the movies that will be talked about. Allie from Allie's Accessory Shop on Etsy's Trash Feature Reviews found a movie called Groupie with a supporting role from Eric Roberts, one of the supporting actresses from Orange is the New Black. It's the star. I think it's Taryn Manning. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this out there, and I'm just glad that the audio on the old episodes sound good. So then we will follow it up with the Class of 19XX trilogy. So 1984, 99, and 99 Part 2, The Substitute. With all of that said, let me get through the formalities. If you want to help the podcast out, and I'm still looking for a guest before the year concludes, send an email to russthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTHEBUS07@gmail.com. Offer me a movie, a theme, a director, an actor. Right now, it could be holiday movies. Hell, it could be best of 2025. So there's some options, some ideas. As long as the content is off the wall, bonkers, I think we have a show. But if you have something a little more down to earth, as I always say, I need to catch up on my Ethan Hawke independent movies. As long as they're between 70 and 100 minutes, I will happily talk about them. You can also support the podcast by following me on my social medias. That's at CatBusRuss on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. I'm primarily on Blue Skies, though I just do not like the entire concept of meta. And the final way to help the podcast out is become a Patreon subscriber. That's patreon.com/IDigCrazyFlicks. I'm just looking for $3 a month right now. The first dollar gets you a waterproof sticker that you can put on all of your stuff that'll be seen by your coworkers, I suppose. Water bottles, I guess, would be the best way of putting it. But, hey, it's going to tolerate your car pretty well, I think. You get access to the original 90forchill.com, the podcast feed from Podbean, before I caught on that it's a conservative cesspool. And you get a shout out on each episode as long as you're subscribed. So thank you, Tim Bates. You can find him on the Arena episode. That's Bloodsport in Space from 1989 with Charles Band's approval. And the horror classic Kevin S. Tenney's Night of the Demons. Those are both on this feed. Thank you, former AA Wrestling backstage interviewer. Personality, I should say, is the better term. The Scoop Staley, and thanks, Dad, for just the support. And more importantly to me, well, let me step back a moment. Those $3 a month, I told you what each one equals, but really what it equals is a tin of cat food, dare I say 3 tins of cat food, for Ava the Queen Kitty. That's the Queen Kitty, so appreciate and respect royalty, and subscribe. So let me just finish up the formalities then. Let me thank Stacia Marie Harden. I mean, it was a rough day today, and I'm just glad to have you in my memory banks. And, oh, the picture by my bed. Thanks for taking care of me, keeping me out of too much trouble, and I hope you're doing for the same for everybody else in your life. And I hope you're squeezing the ectoplasm out of Skimble Shanks, the one-eared angel. I think we can get on to the show. So we're going to talk about Groupie, Class of 1984, Class of 1999, and Class of 1999, Part 2, The Substitute. Let me know what you think in the comments. 5-star reviews help me out the most, though. Thanks for checking out I Dig Crazy Flicks.
The fans wanted a night to remember. For Riley Sims, it was a night she would never forget.
You said you wanted to put the Dark Knights back on top.
I'll do whatever it takes.
If the band is great again, no one will care about the past.
With the band back on the road, Riley made her move. She would do anything
Well, if you're not a songwriter, then what the hell are you?
A muse.
She's just another road whore trying to get it on with the lead singer, brother.
to be the band's favorite groupie and take them down one by one.
Denise!
She means nothing to me.
Why don't you stay the hell out of my life? Shut up. You're next.
Travis, are you ready to give them what they want?
Get your kicks, sugar, get your kicks. I don't mind. Get your kicks, sugar, get your kicks.
You ought to kill me. I'm the one that came up with the idea.
Those were death masks. And when your death mask is finished, justice will be served.
Groupie from American World Pictures.
So I just concluded watching Groupie by director Mark L. Lester, who you may know from such action classics as Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando and Brandon Lee versus Dolph Lundgren. The movie was called Showdown in Little Tokyo. Those are great action movies, and tacky ones at that. I mean, the body count in Commando, the fish out of water type story inversed in Showdown in Little Tokyo. Fun movies. Now, Groupie could have been fun, which is saying something, because I think it was pretty much stretching its viability for being a story inspired by the Great White Fire, concert fire. Great White, once bitten, twice shy. Now, the acting is acceptable, I think, in this case. Eric Roberts is phoning it in, but hey, associate producer credit, can't knock it. Tara Manning is good in the role, despite it's not really a coy nature to her as the groupie. What it lacks is just a willingness to be over the top. And I think Mark Lester's team, from looking over his IMDb and such, has become a Roger Corman type, just producing movies. And he's taking advantage of CGI and its cheap effects, which totally makes this even feel more disingenuous. No bloody, no gore, no real horror involved. Just a Lifetime movie with a few cuts for commercials. Somebody would eat this up. Unfortunately, I'm not, and it's kind of sad to see where he's fallen.
Class of 1984. Their only goal is power.
I run this school, man.
Their only law is survival.
If you want to survive around here, you have got to learn to look the other way.
Their only allegiance is to themselves.
Still believe in all that bullshit that holds it together.
I pledge allegiance!
Otherwise, should have done me right. Like this. Hey, look what he done, man! He tried to kill me!
Somebody's got to stop this insanity.
Well, you simply cannot afford to fail this class. Now, what is the answer? Ah, I am the future. I am the future. I am the future.
But you've taught before and nothing like this has ever happened.
All right, I got to deal with it. Who's going to protect you?
I'm gonna play some more later.
He's one man trained to deal with students, but they've pushed him to the limit. They've gone too far. Now he's going to give the class of 1984 the lesson they deserve. Class of 1984. Is this the future?
Take a look at my face. I belong to the future, and the world belongs to me. Take a look at my face.
So I've just concluded watching Mark L. Lester's Class of 1984, a cult movie about the worst high school in America and the teacher, the music teacher, who's going to try changing it all. I think it's a statement, again, it's definitely an 80s exploitation film in the sense that it's playing off of our fears of the youth. Doesn't matter what color, because these white kids are running the trashy ghetto school. So it's funny how we didn't really take the time. I mean, I guess it's not funny because at least we can relate to, I don't know, I guess the audience can relate to white on white violence. Don't want to get too insensitive, I suppose. It's a brief movie, only 1 hour, 38 minutes, but it's a very slow build to our finale, which kind of is the exploitation we really wanted. I mean, you get a lot of violence. Roddy McDowall plays a teacher who eventually resorts to teaching his class at gunpoint. You get some crazy stuff on this build, but it really should just be a lot faster, I think. This is the guy who directed Commando. I guess this kind of laid the groundwork for that then, in a sense that, okay, let's speed things up, let's just get right to the action. And same thing I'd say with Showdown in Little Tokyo. So it's a fun movie because it's trauma with some class, in all honesty. This is not too far removed from Class of Nukem High, where, again, the teacher's doing a slow build, but you get some really just tacky, crazy stuff throughout. And here you get a great performance, I think, from Tim Van Patten as Stegman, the sociopathic genius. Maybe a prototype for Cyrus the Virus from Con Air. Minions are fun. Michael J. Fox, young Michael J. Fox, is good in the feature. It's just, you got to be in the mood for this kind of fare. And again, I always laugh when the Directors Guild of America petitioned the MPAA to create the NC-17 rating to replace the X. And one of those artistic geniuses was Mark L. Lester, who's now pretty much just another Roger Corman.
Superman!
And when I wrote that review for my YouTube account, the account is Ty Durden. That's THAIDURDEN, the never realized wrestling gimmick that I was first assigned. I stopped and immediately, right in the description, it was kind of like, oh man, I really just needed to take more time and let Class of 1984 breathe, because in the end, it is a pretty solid work. And I'm sorry to pick on Markel Lester, at least 1982 Markel Lester. And he had another good 10 years in him. I mean, Showdown in Little Tokyo is just the movie that got me to B-Fest. So, with all that said, I am thinking, well, I shouldn't say thinking, I just got to stay up late enough. I'm going to drop a night 3 for Markel Lester Week with an abbreviated version of my podcast with Gregory Carl that covered both Bloodsport and Showdown in Little Tokyo, which I still deem is the greatest DVD multi-pack I've ever possessed. So, with that all said, let's go and close it out with the Class of 1999.
In 1998, 6 million violent incidents took place in American high schools, including 29,927 teacher fatalities. The public school system has been reduced to a battlefield. But the Board of Education has just found a solution. The perfect solution.
You're next, Mr. Cope.
For the Class of 1999.
What are you?
The Class of 1999.
These androids were supposed to educate the students.
Battle droids, Miles. Battle droids.
To graduate is to survive.
And I've just concluded the Class of 1999, a loose sequel to Markel Lester's Class of 1984. This one is just crazy in general. As Class of 1984, which I think in my last video I didn't quite pay it the respect it deserved, because when you stop and really think about what you just watched at that feature, it's basically The Killing Joke before Alan Moore ever wrote it. It's a lot. If you take it that way, it's a lot of fun just trying to drive an idealistic teacher crazy with a genius psychopath. And the finale speaks for itself. Class of 1999, the plot is that schools have gotten worse. Now they don't even let the police intervene. Around certain schools, there are fire-free zones, meaning enter at your own peril. But Malcolm McDowell decides that with the assistance of Megacorp, use cyborg teachers to discipline the children and educate them finally. What it turns out, though, is they're former military robots, and they're basically going to give you the learn or die option, and they are first going to go and take out all the gangs on their own through lots of Art of War kind of stuff. It's got ridiculous special effects, which are a lot of fun, in all honesty. It ends up being the Terminator by the last act. And just a year later, Terminator 2 is released. So it's a nice end to practical effects, at least when it comes to cyborgs. I mean, the story's just so crazy. It was great. It had to have been great Cinemax fare in the 90s. All I can really fault it for is the quality of the film doesn't look great, but it was from Vestron Pictures, so that's to be expected. So it's sloppy, but, you know, once you get to this entire concept of robot teachers trying to start gang wars, you just can't help but watch and wonder. So, a lot of fun. Not Lester's best, and definitely not the most meaningful feature. And, you know, doing my research, I found out there's a sequel to this one, Class 99 Part 2, or The Substitute, with the goofy guy from Step by Step and Kickboxers 2, 3, and 4. Hey, I know what's going on in my queue. This is just crazy fun, and at 90 minutes, what do you got to lose?
Hold on to your butts.
Previously on 94 Chill, the podcast.
The year 1999. Anarchy has taken over the public schools of America.
Why aren't you gentlemen in class today?
Do you need me to spell it out for you?
Every day, teachers fear for their lives.
If you allow a student to gain control of a situation, the result is anarchy.
Violence is at an all-time high.
This is your last warning.
But today, there's a substitute.
That's a strange dude. Get in your seats, now. Discipline is necessary to maintain order. Order is necessary to prevent anarchy. Now class is dismissed, gentlemen.
Programmed to teach.
You like tormenting people?
Designed to kill.
Do you have some sort of military experience?
Some.
Built for maximum discipline.
This is a very unstable unit.
You're on permanent detention.
Today, he's giving the ultimate test. And everyone will fail.
I bet you got this whole area booby-trapped, don't you?
It's live and learn.
What's happening out here?
Or learn to die.
Human beings are soft. They can't take their punishment. They don't make good soldiers.
Class of 1999, Part 2.
After all, rules are rules.
The Substitute. Coming from Cinetel Films.
And I've just concluded Class of 1999 2, The Substitute, which I believe is the first 0 on the tomato meter that I've actually seen. I'll have to do a little more research on that. Let's just remember that just means there's no positive reviews. It doesn't mean it's not mediocre. It doesn't mean it's totally offensive. And it's nowhere near either, I think, in the end, Class 1984, Class of 1999, in terms of quality. Being a direct sequel to Class of 1999, you can't do this without the cyborg effects. But, to its credit, it comes off the story that lets you negate these by having, well, that's spoiler alert stuff. But basically, there is one teacher who's now just going from school to school, believed to be a battle droid from Megatech, who just goes and kills all the bad students and moves on to the next town. This time, he's come to a school where there's a teacher, well, and honestly, the only gang activity really is that there's a teacher who wants to testify against a attempted murderer and keeps being opposed because that would shake up the small little town. Fortunately for her, Sasha Mitchell from Step by Step and Kickboxers 2, 3, and 4 has arrived in town, and he's taking out the trash. And it turns out to be more something she's conflicted with than deterred by. It kind of addresses, we have evil students this time. This isn't like Class of 1999 where it's just kill a bunch of kids. We have a teacher who you're cheering on for killing the kids. Now, the action is, there's actually some nice, I think, sequences of early on with Sasha Mitchell taking out little gang units. But once you get to the finale, which is supposed to be an ode to the gang wars of Class of 1999, it kind of falls apart. It's still fun to see some of the old Vietnam-style kills. It's nothing really impressive, but you gotta appreciate the story. Sasha Mitchell only has 2 modes, Goofy or Stoic. Kind of works for him, and I can't say the other actors phone it in. It's not really worth your time, I suppose, but if you enjoyed Class of 1999, I think the curiosity will get the better of you, and it's not as bad as it's indicated to be. I think the moral of the trilogy is, damn these white kids and their mass shootings, because we've lost the entire concept of school exploitation features.
Can I hear a wahoo?
This podcast was made possible by the love and support of Dave and Cindy Stevens, Rory Stevens and Allison Higgins, Danny Daniels, and Stephanie Smith.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.